is personal finance basics, and this session will be purely majority around basics. So a lot of you, I am sure, are very advanced in your understanding of the personal finance. However, I am a true believer of that we need to have a strong foundation before we even talk about advanced topics of which share to invest or which bond to buy or which mutual fund to buy, where to invest, gold, real estate. So we will today focus on next 1.5 hour only on this topic of basics. Please use menti.com in your Chrome browsers or anywhere and enter the code 833823 to join the to basically answer on when the word comes personal finance, what are the first three words which come to your mind? Any three words which come to your mind on this topic? Very good. So one of the common theme coming is growth as a theme in front of us. Family, growth, investment are the three themes which are coming quite frequently. Good, I think we have enough response, and let's move to the topic. So one thing very clearly coming, there are various things like equity, consistency, saving, insurance, mutual funds, FDs, backup for family. So which is family, wealth, share, investment, which retirement, security, all good. Growth and family, retirement and investment. I think these are very important topic, and good thing is I am also going to talk about that. And thank you. So, like I was saying, one of the very important thing for us to start our journey towards financial freedom is to have a very solid construction of the foundation, which is a concrete foundation, and no more roti kapra or makan is important. Apart from roti kapra and makan, we also need education, festival celebrations with our family and friends, and we also have ambitions to roam around within country and to go on a Europe trip or somewhere. So all this matters today in the life which we have. This all foundation, and we need five strong pillar of setting ourselves on financial independence, having a secure security for our family in an unfortunate incident something happened with us, having a solid investment plan, planning our taxes, and then making sure that we are living in a comfortable retirement or having a plan to have comfortable retirement. If we can ensure this, then we can actually ensure financial freedom as we move forward in life. So here goes the quiz. I think there were again participant loss, but we'll manage with 10 and let's see. So where do you save your money? You can select any one option. So please select one option. Where do you save your money? Good. So I was expecting these answers. We will talk about further mutual funds, bank FD, and mutual fund. And we have share, good, nobody in gold and cash. So why share is not saving and investment? We will talk about that as we go back into our presentation. Good to have your response on. Thank you. Okay, but a solid foundation, like I said, is built on having a savings plan. Be clear about the loans you have, having a security in case of an unfortunate incident, investment plan which takes care of your needs of today and your needs of future, and then having a tax plan with which you pay as less as tax possible legally, and finally a retirement plan which ensure your future. So we will go one by one into all. So here I would like to first dive deeper into the savings part, and in each section we will, before dive, we will keep going to the menti.com, so please be conscious. So a question to all, and people can speak on savings. I would start with Mr. Buffett's statement: if you keep buying things you don't need, you will soon have to sell things you need. And with that in mind, can somebody tell me what does this six means? This six here talks about a simple thumb rule of having 6 months of emergency savings kept in a safe instrument. so that in case of any unfortunate situation like pandemic is right now when people are struggling with jobs, in that kind of scenario, people in their home for 6 months, and that is good enough time for people to find out what they can do other than job or some other area, finding a new job, etc. And that is required. What this 6 month fund should cover for you is all your groceries, all bills like electricity, phone, etc., your kids' education, rent, and remember, the more expense you have, the higher the emergency corpus you need. And here I would like to also talk about difference between savings and investment. Please understand this is saving. This has got nothing to do with return on investment. This is purely to keep yourself afloat in an unfortunate incident for 6 months, and few of the options are bank, debt, mutual fund. So I saw a lot of response on mutual fund saving. Mutual fund is investment, but debt mutual funds, there could be investment or saving, and we here I am talking about savings. And then other options like cash at home or sometime emergency funds people use from personal loan or credit card. My recommended form is bank FD or auto FD offered by few banks, and the liquid funds. As we will dive deeper, not today, in the next session, when we will talk investment, I will talk about why liquid funds score over bank FDs. For a starter, a liquid fund, if maintained for 3 years, it will be much more tax efficient than a bank FD. Because on a bank FD, whatever interest you earn, you have to pay tax as per your tax slab, even if you hold that FD for 3 years. Whereas a liquid fund, if you hold 1 lakh investment, the tax which you will be paying on the return will be after indexation. So we will speak more about these deeper things when we will go into savings and investment further. For the time being, I would start with this. Good. Before we go to the loan, again, I let's move to the Menti again, and I am sharing the next screen, and let me know once you are logged in. So which loans are running for you? Select one which you have the highest priority right now. Sorry, I could not understand. Home loan, more people. You said that you cannot select multiple option. Am I correct? That's the answer I people were trying to give. None option is. Oh yeah, okay. None option is very good. If you don't have a loan, that is very good. Eh, yeah, none option is a good option. I'm back in presentation, and let's talk about none option as well. Yeah, good starting point, Nikhil, for that. So loans, like I said, first thing is if none is there, then it is even better. So you need to scare off your loans before you even start any kind of investment. What I mean here is, there are two types of loans: good loans and bad loans. And good loans are essentially loans like housing loan or education loan, where interest rates are low. In case of housing loan, there are tax benefit, and definitely my own home gives me a sense of security. On the education loan side, what I see is, the rates are low to moderate. However, these are important sometimes for our own skill enhancement, sometimes for our own learning, or sometimes for even our kids' education. And the best thing we can do is, to make sure that we take insurance against this loan amount, which is separate than any other type of insurance you have. A home loan insurance within EMI will not even pinch you, because that will be in few hundreds of bucks for every 1 lakh rupees. I think it is in few bucks, less than 100 rupees for every 1 lakh rupee of loan you take. So it will not even pinch you much, but it gives you a sense of security for the period of home loan. So I encourage to take that. Bad loans, the worst kind of loan can be credit card loan. Their annual interest rate is somewhere around 36 to 40%, pure debt trap, and they can ruin anyone's finance. Personal loans also come with very high interest rate of 11 to 15%, and they are pure drainage on your saving and create a lot of financial anxiety. I saw at least one person selected credit card loan and one person selected personal loan. So something for you to ponder upon. And car loans, as long as car is acting as a tool for you, I would say car loan is a good thing. The only thing you have to keep in mind is before any other loan, you have to steer off car loan other than housing or education because they take a lot of toll on your expenses and saving potential. Good. Like I said, so with everything, we will keep moving back and forth. Again, quiz time. Again, please go to the Menti before I start. This time, I will wait for you all to enter Menti. Hope you are on menti.com and the question comes in front of you now. What is the minimum insurance you need if your monthly expense is 75,000 rupees? Monthly income is 75,000 rupees. Good. People are responding now fast. We have 19 participants in the room. Let's see. Oh, great. So we have only three gentlemen in the room who know exactly how much is the minimum insurance you need. Uh, Technically speaking, 1 crore would have been a right answer. But anyway, I would say that for the time being, this is good. Uh, nine minimum for a 75,000, you need minimum of 90 lakh of insurance. Though 1 crore would have also been good answer. Moving back to the presentation, and let's talk about insurance. Insurance, I would say we have to understand the literal meaning of insurance. Insurance, as the word says, in case of any problem, there is a security for the family. And please remember it, my friends, all marketing, ULIP and all, there is enough marketing of that, but insurance is not investment. And I would simply encourage you to remember there are just two types of insurance: life insurance and general insurance. In that, now, to make terms complex, people have term life, which don't, nobody wants to speak because it has the lowest, what I would call, benefit for the seller. So nobody wants to talk term insurance if you talk to distributors. Their usual preferred way is whole endowment or money back guarantee or ULIP plans. Emotional cards they play on the children plan and retirement plan, but we'll go deeper why term insurance makes sense, why the other in the next session when we will talk insurance. For the time being, if you are interested just in this session, if you want to listen me one thing, this is that one thing: you need just term insurance and medical insurance before you even talk about automobile is must, so it will automatically happens. Home, fire, travel, we can talk, but you need two insurance for sure: term life and medical. And I believer of KISS philosophy, which is keep it simple and stupid. The more simple it is, the better it is for you. The more fancy it sounds, the better it is for company who is selling and the person who is selling that to you. I remember telling in the message. Also, I would like to repeat. The blog or the thought process I have is no nonsense personal finance, which essentially means the simple you keep, the better it is in your interest, and you should not at all point make things complex. First thing to remember, like I said, insurance is not investment, so keep these two separate. Term life insurance, a simple thumb rule is you roughly need 10 times of your annual income as your term life. If we talk about 75,000 rupees income example, this translates to 9 lakh rupees of income in a year. And for 9 lakh, 10 times is 90 lakh, and that is why 90 lakh was the correct answer. And please remember, this 10 time is minimum. Just to give you a taste of thing, for a 35-year-old healthy male, non-smoker, roughly a 1 crore insurance will cost in the vicinity of 7 to 10,000 rupees of the annual premium. But if you go for a ULIP plan or a child plan or endowment, we are talking about more than 35, 40,000 minimum on the starting side. The higher complexity, the more the money you need to shell out as premium for that policy. And Medical insurance is plain and simple rule you need. Even if you have your organization insurance, well and good. My personal encouragement is to have at least 2 lakh rupees of insurance for each family member who is dependent on you. So if you, your wife and 2 kids, you need 8 lakh of insurance. Let's say your company provides 3 lakh or 5 lakh. The balance at least you should definitely have on your own medical insurance. Please remember, in term life insurance, the premium amount doesn't change. The only thing which changes the tax on the premium. So whatever premium you sign today, and the earlier you take term policy, the lesser will be the premium, and that premium will continue to remain till the lapse of policy. How long you should take, what all rider should take, again for some other day. Medical case, it is every year the insurance premium changes. It is linked to the health of the city where you are taking insurance or living, because there are a lot of dynamics at behind, and the premium keeps fluctuating on the upper side, adjusted to the inflation. I will again repeat the message. Remember, insurance is not investment. You need minimum 10 times of your annual income as your insurance, and you need to have 2 lakh rupees of medical insurance for each individual member who is counting on you. Let's move back to Menti, and let's move to the next question we have. So the next question come to your screen now. If I earn 8% of rate of interest on my investment, in how many years my 1 lakh will convert to 2 lakh? If my rate of interest is 8%. For people who know personal finance, this is the first rule you should know. Quick answer, guys, otherwise you will lose 5 seconds. Quickly answer. Pick one choice. Pick one choice. Don't worry. Wow, we have some intelligent people in the room. Rule of 72 is playing here. The rule of 72 says whatever is your rate of interest, if you divide 72 by rate of interest, it will give you time period required to double your investment. For people who got the answer wrong, don't worry, we will dive deeper when we will dive into investment. There is rule of 72, 149, 144. Remember, simple, 72 divided by rate of interest will give you the time period required to double your investment. And my congratulations to people, all 5 people who gave the right answer. Moving back to the presentation, and now let's move to the investment part of it. On time wise, I would say we are doing decent. You know, if you have not read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, I would highly encourage you to read that book. My single learning from that book, there are multiple, but the single most important learning I had is you need to pay yourself first before you pay to anybody. And that is the fastest way to wealth. You must remember to pay yourself first. Let's understand what are the type of investment options. So we have paper investment options like investing directly in the stocks. So equity and debt market, and in equity in paper investments, we have stock investment, private equity or equity mutual funds. In the debt side, you have bank FDs, small saving schemes like and RBI bonds and all, and debt mutual funds which are available also by mutual fund selling companies, AMCs. On the physical investment side, you have jewelry, gold coins, bricks, gold saving schemes, gold ETF, sovereign gold bond funds, and you have property. Here I have selected few as red things. What it means here is my recommendation. Again, we will dive deeper into each subject. What are pros and cons, why you should do or what you should not do in the next sessions on these individual topics. So equity mutual fund, if you are interested in equity, I would say rather than stock and private equity mutual fund makes sense for most of people. That doesn't mean direct stock is not better. Direct stock is very good if you understand. But if you don't understand and want to start, equity mutual fund is the way to start. Bank FD, small saving schemes within that also I would say that mutual fund makes more sense. In the physical side, sovereign gold bond, which is actually a paper investment in gold, is one of the best investment. Every year you earn, other than the appreciation or depreciation of gold, which is luck based. These bonds are issued by the government of India 5 times in every year, backed by the security of RBI and government of India. The bond earn 2.25% of rate of interest of investment, and you can invest up to 4 lakh rupees in this investment of gold bond. Residential property, yes, please. Yes, yeah, yeah. These are very much linked to the gold, global gold price, and the index which is used here is not MCX. Yeah, I mean Indian MCX, not the global. Yeah, it is very much linked. Gold you buy today through sovereign gold bond will be on the price issue of today, and when you will be able to sell after 8 year, at that point of time, that bond you will be able to sell. That bond you will be only able to sell after 8 year, and for 8 year you have option to take interest out every quarter or annually, or you can let the interest mature, and that interest also you get after 8 years, and in that case there is no tax also on that. So if you are invest like if you like to invest in gold, the best way to invest in gold is sovereign gold bond fund, and definitely please don't get the interest out, let it accumulate. With indexation benefit, that tax benefit comes very high on this topic. Starting with paying yourself first. So rule of 50, 30 and 20. I would simply change it to 30, 50, 20 of budgeting, which it means 30% of your earning post tax, whatever you get on monthly basis, should go towards your investment, and that should be your first thing. If that is not today, and if you are interested to have financial freedom in life, this is the first thing you should start, of having 30% of your earnings moving towards investment right at the beginning. In the case of 50%, I would say, come what may, all your loan, EMI, rental expenses, your kids' education, your grocery bill, you have to learn. If it is more than 50%, my friends, then basically you are living a life which is you are borrowing from your future. My encouragement is, doesn't matter what is your income today, you should keep and you should ensure to keep your expenses below 50% of your monthly income. And though I would have loved to have another question, but maybe some other day, how many of you are able to do this? And maybe I will also try to support how why it is important and how it is important during investment. The leftover 20% should go towards building the emergency corpus, which is for ensuring 6 months security. Your own habits, you have habit. I love to have chill out with my friends, and which is right now not happening, but on a weekend. So my habit of riding a bike or reading, buying some books, or running, or having a beer in the evening with my friends, or charity. I would say generously do charity. That also at the end of the day helps you save some taxes, and that 20% should take care of all this stuff. This is saving side, this is investment. Please don't confuse two things. The 30% goes towards your investment for your future needs, which we can talk multiple, and 20% remains towards building an emergency 6 month fund, spending on your habits and on charity. Like I said, before we move to the text part, let's go to the mentee again. The question starts. This is more to do with the retirement, but tax and retirement come together, and I'll speak about that. So, if your expenses today are 50,000 rupees in a month, how much will be your expense in 2045 when you retire, 25 years from today? Good. So, my recommendation to people who think they will manage with around less than 2 lakh and more than 1 lakh expense, please understand, guys, inflation plays a big part, and the right answer is 2 lakh and I think 45,000, 2 lakh and 34,000 is the answer. I don't remember exactly because I made slide earlier, but 2 lakh 30 odd thousand is what you would need. If your expense today is 50,000, to maintain today's lifestyle, you would need at least 2 lakh 35,000 odd rupees in 2045. People who did 3 lakh, I would say you are on adding on the caution side, but that's okay. You will be better positioned if you plan with 3 lakh in mind. Good. Coming back, and we will talk about tax and retirement before I seek your feedback as well. So, first thing, and this is my own quote: if you pay 1 rupee extra tax, it is equally big a crime. It is like paying 1 rupee less tax. Please understand, government across the globe recommend you to take all the savings on tax possible. And you as an individual should not let go of this opportunity. You must remember to save every single rupee on tax you can. And it is equally big a crime what it is not paying tax on time or not paying full tax. So I would say use complete ATC limit. Make sure that you are consuming that 1.5 lakh rupees available for each individual. Contribute to the national pension savings scheme. It gives you on top, and it is of towards the retirement. It gives you on top 50,000 rupees as an option to invest. So essentially, if you are in the upper bracket and you invest 50,000 rupees, you are roughly saving 17 odd thousand rupees of the tax as well. So essentially, your net outgo is just 33,000, whereas actual investment is 50,000 in your own. Buy a health insurance. And the benefit I have already spoken, you need a medical insurance, and that health insurance will ensure that you save on the tax as well. So a premium of 10,000, you are actually shelling it from your pocket in real sense. If you are in the upper bracket, only 7,000, 6,700 odd rupees, because there will be saving of around 33,300 on the tax side for you. So make sure to buy health insurance. And again, this is over and above 1.5 lakh of ATC and 50,000 of NPS. So this gives you an additional opportunity. And savings here are up to 25K for yourself and up to 50K for elderly parents. We'll dive deeper into each of these subjects in the classes further. Claim HRA deduction. So if you have HRA, that's very good thing. Make sure to claim complete HRA of whatever tax you are paying, whatever rent you are paying. Make sure to claim deduction on the home interest which you are paying on the home loan, and have some money in your savings account. What I mean by savings account is regular savings account. Earnings of up to 10,000 rupees on savings accounts are not part of the tax. So you need not worry about up to 10,000 rupees of interest earned. So a 2 lakh rupee maintained for the whole year in your saving account will give you around that kind of earning, and that is tax free. Though I won't recommend 2 lakh, I would say debt mutual fund or liquid fund or an FD would be better. But some money in savings account is always better. Like I said, contribute generously towards the charity, and that helps you also earn good karma. At the same time, it helps you save taxes. And remember, I said each rupee saved is a rupee earned. So if you save from all forums, then you are basically making a lot of earning for yourself, which ultimately helps you move towards setting a solid plan for yourself for retirement. One of the biggest challenge we all find, and I know all of us are in private jobs, maybe one or two in government job. One of the biggest challenge we find here, my friends, is we don't know the target we have, and we always feel that right now my retirement is too far away. I am a 40-year-old. My retirement is 20 years away from today. Why should I worry today? Somebody who is at 25, 30, they will not even talk retirement. But fun, you don't know the exact target. We have a lot of assessment to make. So, example, you have healthcare as one of the biggest old age expense. Someone need to take care. You have to plan for income for all the time you will be spending on earth when you will not be making money. So, younger you today need to plan for older you tomorrow, so that your older self is not ruining the younger self of you. So today's karma will help you in future, and that's what you need to keep in mind. You need to have investment planning even during the retirement period. Other than planning it now for the retirement, you also need investment planning in the retirement age, because your in retirement in corpus should keep on earning at least inflation plus 2% rate of interest, so that you are not reducing the uh, total corpus. If you see in the picture, a reducing corpus means that you are moving towards what I would call old age poverty. And if you want to take long term care, and roughly we can say life expectancy is increasing every passing year. Today, a retiree will be, for our age, if we are healthy and we are maintaining good health, we will have about 20-25 years of what I would call minimum life post retirement, and you have to plan for that. For those 20-25 years, you need to have income planning as well as investment planning, which continue to yield you income, which will ensure that you are not hitting the old age poverty, which is one of the biggest fear or biggest bomb our generation is sitting on, because we don't have, like our parents, government job or security of retirement. Taxes will hurt the most in retirement, and unfortunately, as you retire, your taxes don't retire. Taxes remain till the time we live. So you have to have tax efficient system for all the income planning as well as investment planning, and that will be dependent on future. However, you have to be conscious on this today, that what kind of investment you are making. uh, there is something called exempt EEE, and governments over last 25 years are moving away from EEE to TTT, that is tax at earning, tax at spending, and tax at savings. However, we still have lot of investment like NPS is EET. There are example like all of us would have earned in provisional provident fund PPF, which is EEE, exempt when you are investing, exempt when you are accumulating, and exempt when you will be getting that maturity. So that kind of investments are there, and one has to be conscious today of that, so that your corpus is tax efficient at that point of time. No point working all your life so hard and not having enjoyment of the fruits in the best years you will live post retirement. Most of our life is today in front of screen, or running in the cars and running in the bikes and spending. So we will have a good life only if you have planned this well, and you plan to roam around the world. Then that is the years when you can look forward to. Every one of us love our family. That was one of the common topic in the very first Menti chart, and which is clear to me. Then we want to leave legacy, and we want to leave our love for our family even beyond ourselves, and that is true for every one of us. And I would encourage you to be very conscious of this. Like I said, we will dive deeper into the sessions one by one, and I plan to have next Sunday session on savings part. But before we move further, what I would need is, before we even go towards questions, I would like to use money book statement from Nimmi Akin Kupe, which says there are no shortcuts to financial independence. Unless you are lucky enough to win a lottery or you inherit a fortune, one has to build financial future systematically, carefully, and with deliberate planning. With this, I would like to go back again to the Menti, and please confirm me if it is visible to you all. Now I am basically seeking your feedback on the session so far, and then we can move towards question and answer for next maybe 10-15 minutes. So first, a leaderboard. Let's see who is the winner. Oh man, people are running fast. Vikas, congratulations to you. Vikas is the winner here with 3,231 points. Vikas on all the quizzes. Manish, my friend, you are second, and Vineet, you come at third. People, people who have lost out, don't worry. When we usually lose in this, we actually are setting foundation for success. So I will look forward to your journey, continued journey with me. But before we don't go there, if you can give me feedback, this is totally you don't need. I will not get to know who gave what feedback. So please feel free to give your feedback as you feel. I don't know who is giving what feedback. It's just all negative feedback is also welcome, guys. Don't worry. We have 19 participants. Can I have a little more feedback? 21 participants. So 20 participants, including myself, 21. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. On menti.com. Okay. I'll come to that. So 16 people responded, and thank you all for overwhelmed response to this. Appreciate and look forward to continued sessions with you all.